The trenches are hotter than ever. We've seen ups and downs.
Is it possible to consistently make money with meme coins?
Luck is definitely a thing. The more knowledge you have, the more luck you're gonna happen to attract. My wins are way bigger or way more frequent than my fails.
How to find hidden gems?
So first of all, if you want to invest into something that is like on pump fund right now, go directly on Bullx. There's a section called Neo Vision.
What's your Bluechips?
Solana performed incredibly well. I think the SUI is my biggest backer right now because it can go to 2 digits.
It's also a huge trend on AI tokens.
AI engines are going to be a big thing because they are the application, the actual effective application. You give remote access to your laptop. You can ask them to set a limit order on your non-custodial wallet. You can ask them to actually do a lot of things.
Where do you see potential trends will be dominating this year? Greetings everyone, I'm your host, Kirill Ivanov. Today's conversation will be Cepryl, YouTube influencer and Memecoin expert. We'll discuss all fundamental aspects of being successful with Memecoins this year. So it's really a pleasure to speak with you today. February is started. What's the current meta?
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you having me here. Where did I start? I started my crypto journey around 2018. Somebody told me about Bitcoin. I thought it was a scam and they would die off within a few months. Long story short, this guy got me into the market. I started then diving into altcoins. I got Ethereum quite early, made decent money in the previous bull market. Nothing to change really my life because I didn't really put that much money as much as I should have. And then I started taking this thing full time around 1.5 years ago when I just decided that there was too much junk on YouTube, and I just decided to start my own YouTube channel, and the rest is history. That's pretty much where we're sitting on here today. And obviously in the last, I want to say like 6 to 7 months, it's been very, very heavily focused on meme coins. Here we are after like 6 to 7 months, and the trenches are hotter than ever. Obviously, we've seen ups and downs in recent weeks of the crypto market, but I think that meme coins are definitely here to stay. And we're going to see if we're going to end up in a investor hodler market, or we're going to keep this trader market that we've seen in the last few weeks, which has pretty much been the current meta, I would say.
What's your position to meme coins now?
I want to say that I have different strategies that I want to discuss with you in this podcast today, but I want to say that so far, at least in the last 3 to 4 months, traders have been rewarded and holders have not. People were really talking about calls or just investing in strong communities and forgetting about it.
But why?
Because some influencer told them to. I don't want to make any names. I don't want to get controversial, but there's been a lot of talks about calls. But what happened in the majority of cases is that this sort of cabals and communities owning big percentages of supply was just looking for some extra liquidity from the community in crypto Twitter space overall by telling them to invest into calls, while this cabals owning insider supply, which, I mean, full disclosure, these things are also needed a lot of the times for supply control and to make sure that the price doesn't crash, and, you know, because otherwise everything's red, everybody would sell, the chart would crash. These things are needed, but if people have bad intentions over it, what the majority of people are not going to tell is that these people are obviously going to look for extra liquidity and then dump on the people out there. And this is why you can look at the charts or some of the lists of all these popular meme coins that have been around in the last year. You're going to be able to see that 99% are 80% down or below in this very moment that we're just filming this. And it sucks because even fundamentally or community-wise strong projects, I think of Moomdapool, I think about Ponke, I think about Popcat. All these projects are around 80% or plus down from the all-time high, which is not something that should happen in a so-called meme coin super cycle, don't you think?
And do you prefer mostly daily trading instead of investing in calls?
I think that if you really want to find a meme coin called, you should focus on 2 or 3 at most that you're really confident in. They are just as decentralized as possible, because that means that bad actors or people that you personally don't know, because nobody knows what can happen with crypto, they won't have the control over the community to leverage them as extra liquidity. So I think that if you decide to invest in a project like this, search for the most decentralized as possible. Search for a project that is already listed on good centralized exchanges, on something like Binance or even a tier 2, like could be Qcoin or Bybit, something that is already listed there, because if within the first few months of this so-called Memecoin super cycle, if they didn't get listed there, there's a very high chance that they're never going to make it to the elite level exchanges. That's one of my convictions, just a personal interpretation of this, but I have a strong conviction on that. And I would really limit myself into 2 or 3, because being diversified too much, I don't think it's always necessarily a good thing, especially when it comes to Memecoins. People have this concept of Bluechip Memecoins, but it's really not proven to be a thing. People might call perhaps something like Doge or Pepe as a blue chip, but I just don't see many other coins being a really blue chip crypto. I would rather focus my investments into something that is just like backed by actual real world utility, or a layer 1 blockchain that can actually be the future of finance or whatever, so to speak. And I'm perhaps going to talk about some of my picks later on, but if we're talking about memes, focus really on these factors that I've said.
I'm really curious, is it possible to consistently make money with meme coins, or it just just luck? Okay,
it's very, very interesting question. I don't want to just bullshit you and tell you that luck is not a thing. Luck is definitely a thing. I invested into, I don't want to call it invested. I just dived a couple of SOL into a very shitty pick. That was when the Trump narrative started coming in, and it was an Elon unofficial coin.
Okay.
I put a couple of Solana in there, and I sold for 2-3x up all my quota. I woke up the next day.
You have time to exit?
Yeah, I exited. The morning after, it was like evening my time. I wake up the morning after, one of my members in my Discord tells me, bro, I'm never fading you again. And I'm like, what do you mean? I look at the scorecard. You know how you generate scorecards with the X's that you generated? It made a 360X, and I faded it completely. If I had literally gone out for dinner and forget that I put 1 or 2 SOL, I would have had 700 SOL the morning after. So you cannot tell me that luck is not involved, because I could have literally forgotten about that, and I would have made crazy life-changing money for a lot of people. So luck is definitely a thing, but I also want to say that knowledge, the more knowledge you have, the more luck you're going to happen to attract in your crypto investing journey, especially Memecoin journey. One of the things that I always say, you build knowledge before you actually build money and before you actually build wealth. Every single person is going to be wrecked by starting investing into the trenches, into stuff. It's very high risk that could go to zero within 30 seconds, within 10 seconds. Be ready to lose everything in this. And that's why you should really deal with very, very small amounts. Even if you have a high budget, for the matter, you should really start very, very small, so you learn the lessons the hard way. You lose the capital. I also recommend people to just use a notebook, write down your trades, write down what you've done wrong, because that is really going to help you understand all the things that you did wrong. So when you actually start doing the things right, you're going to make money. Obviously, you're never going to be able to do everything right.
Yeah, it's true.
I fail all the time. I do this all the time. But at the end of the day, my wins are way bigger or way more frequent than my fails. But you really need to fail. You need to listen to the wrong people. You need to take the wrong trades. You need to understand what time of the day is better to trade. What time of the day I'm more mentally sharp and unemotionally detached. Because if you start also, one of the biggest lessons, I have a 3 trade rule. Okay. If I do 3 trades in a row badly, I stop trading. If I lose money 3 times in a row, if I either get rugged or end up at a loss or hit my stop loss, I just quit whatever I'm doing. I go out, have a meal out, watch Netflix, whatever, anything, but I stop trading. Why? Because it triggers something called revenge trading, which is something that people get wrong all the time, because they just think, I lost money now, I need to bid higher or do more trades so I make it back and I end up the day in profit. But what happens is that you're not able anymore to think rationally. And what the mistake that people are going to
you're under emotional.
Exactly. So you're going to be beyond emotional, and small, tiny, minor mistakes that you wouldn't do in your day-to-day, you're going to just end up doing them all the time. You're going to feel worse. You're going to lose more money and more quickly than you could imagine. And it just doesn't work. It's just a vicious circle.
Okay, and how to find hidden gems? What's the strategy do you use and what's the tools you use?
Yeah, that is also a very good question, and something that took me months and months on end to figure out. First of all, before even understanding a strategy, have the right tools at hand. Because people started with like Phantom Wallet and Jupiter. I don't think that any serious
I mean, like, it's basic.
Yeah, I don't think that just people would really make life-changing money with it. It's good if you want to just buy something and hold it and you don't think it rugs within the next 5 minutes. Great. You're still going to make money. I would say, obviously, Dex Screener for some research and analysis. It's such an easy tool and something that people take for granted. Okay. But we need to understand that the majority of people don't even use Dex Screener or don't even know what it is. So it's just a simple website. You can copy and paste the contra addresses. You can just see the volume, the chart. Look at the chart. People stop aping on CAs without even looking at the chart because just an influencer just posted on crypto Twitter. It just doesn't work. Getting a tool like Dex Screener and starting some very small bits of analysis. I think every beginner can start with that. And obviously for trading, I do recommend trading bots. There are so many good ones on the market right now. It started that there was only like Photon or Trojan. There was just a couple. Right now, there's like 20 different ones. I'm going to recommend you to use Bullx. I do think that is personally the best, not just because I'm partnered with it, but because I've tried them pretty much all of them. But there's also some new ones that are potentially good. There are more maybe Telegram-based. I've heard about Nova. That is pretty good, but it's just like a Chrome extension at this stage that doesn't really have its own platform. I like Bullx because you kind of use it as a centralized exchange. So it's a real interface and you can put limit orders, you can put market orders, put in limit orders. I mean, talking about one of the most effective strategies, like people still don't trade with stop losses or take profits.
Yeah, it's a good solution. But for example, if I open Dex Screener, okay, what's the metrics and what's the criteria should I looking for?
Yeah, I was going to go through
because
that.
you mentioned like, okay, looking for volume, holders.
So first of all, if you want to invest into something that is like on pump fund right now, go directly on Bullx. There's a section called Neo Vision.
Okay.
That essentially has all the pump fund metrics and columns. So you're going to have 3 columns. One is newly listed, about to graduate, and graduated. So graduated is projects that have just migrated. So if something completed the 100% completion on pump fund, meaning that obviously there's volume coming in and there's attention coming in, it's going to get listed to this section. You're going to be able to see all of the charts. You're going to be able to see a column. And obviously there's not a graduated project every 5 seconds. It's not like the newly listed ones that 99% rug. So you can see probably like 1 or 2 per minute that get listed. Some of them are going to die immediately. Some of them are going to do a few X's. Some of them are going to do crazy X's. But you're going to be able to see all the list. There's no other way that you can really do it. You can do it on Dex Screener, but you need to refresh the thing every 2 seconds. It's just not effective. And then you can also see the projects that are about to graduate. And that's probably one of my best strategies in the trenches, because in about to graduate, you can use different filters. I like to search for something that has not been on pump fund for more than 2 hours. Because if something has been for like 5 or 6 hours, 80 to 90% of cases, they're not going to list unless there's a KOL calls it or some major news event breaks out in the media. They're not going to make it. But if you see something that has been there for less than 2 hours, if you see the volume picking up, if you see a chart that looks something like this, turn, and then a peak, and then hopefully doesn't die. But if it's like 70 to 80% of the bonding curve, and you can also put these filters, by the way, that it's also how I hunt for the gems, you're going to be able to see that if volume is coming in, if you like the volume, 99% of cases it bonds.
Okay.
So if it bonds, at least it's going to do a 20%. Minimum you make a 2x, at least half of the cases.
Okay. You probably know your statistics. And what's the average percentage of successful trades? For example, if we take like 10 meme coins, which you take from charts from Dex Screener, what's the average percentage will be successful?
So let's say for anything that ends up in profit, I want to say 60 to 80%.
Okay.
Because I'm really selective. If I was to do more trades, it would be something between 40 and 60. It would be kind of like 50-50. But I try to be very selective. It wasn't always like that. I used to focus more on the quantity. Right now I focus way more on the quality, but with bigger size of investments. So maybe in the past I would put like half a Solana, 1 Solana. Right now I'd rather put like 2, 3, 4 Solana, but be way more selective with what I do and take my profits very early as well. So if I put 4 Sol, 3 Sol in just a shitcoin trade, I'm going to take my initial at 2x.
Okay.
So whatever happens next, it's on the house. If I make money, great. If it goes literally to zero, I'm going to have made money, right? So I think that focus on getting a consistent streak of very small wins and minimizing losses rather than chasing these crazy wins that you're going to catch maybe once every 200 trades.
That is a good approach. And
exactly.
What's your strategy to exit from trade?
Yeah. So as I was saying, taking out the initial is like probably the main thing. I don't like to chase, as I was saying now, the big X's. I'm so happy to do like 2 or 3 trades a day, and I do a 2 or 3x on them. I'm so freaking happy on doing that and taking a stop loss at like 20% down. That works fine for me. There's also traders that I know that won't take anything less than a 4 or 5x or 10x, and they're not going to sell their initial. And then perhaps, the bundle decide one clip and literally wrecks the project and you lose everything. I do think that minimizing losses like this. Also, minimizing losses is much more important than actually getting wins, because if you're just not getting losses or minimizing them, you don't need that many wins to actually end up in profit. So that's so freaking important. But again, just minimizing losses and maximizing the quantity of the small wins that you get, because you get consistent over time. You're going to keep increasing your capital, and then perhaps you can even bid more into something that is high conviction. And I say that it's way easier to get something like a 2x on a $10,000 and make $20,000 rather than making 100x on $200 to get $20,000.
In your opinion, which blockchains are the best for trading meme coins, except of Solana?
Except of Solana. I was going to say Solana, so already you took it out of the question. Listen, if we're talking about a future of a blockchain to really, I don't want to say replace Solana, but at least compete on the level of speed of transaction, cost of transaction, but also community. Because if not, you can build a blockchain that is as fast or cheap to transact as Solana, but if nobody uses, nobody cares, right? I think SUI has got really the competitive edge. First of all, it's cheap, it's faster, it doesn't even get as congested as Solana. But obviously, SUI doesn't have, at this very moment that we're shooting this podcast, it doesn't have the same community that Solana has. Because SUI is much smaller. It's much newer. And although I do believe that it could be the Solana of this cycle, it's not there yet. But this is also why there's probably a much bigger opportunity to get into an actual code, into a blockchain that is not Solana. Because Solana people are going to tell you about all the stereotypes about every different chain. People are going to act a different way. And it's so freaking true. Like Solana is infamous for the cheats. People that just sell early, take their profits, wreck the charts. Other chains, you're going to be able to find out that they don't have the same problem. On SUI, maybe the problem is it doesn't have enough volume. But there's projects that are millions and millions in market cap. There's Blob, that is kind of like the icon of SUI. There's FUD, like the SUI pug. There's several meme coins right there that have a lot of potential and are already in the millions. So if people want to bet into something in advance and get the first mover advantage, I do believe that those are still cheap, especially if you believe that SUI is going to go to $10, $15, $20 this cycle, which is possible. Nobody can know, obviously, but there's a chance of that. And I also do see these calls as leveraged play on the ecosystem you're betting on yourself. Because obviously, why did Solana meme coins do so well this cycle? Because Solana performed incredibly well, like vastly superior performance compared to Ethereum, right? If Ethereum was in the other way around, obviously we would have had a meme coin season on Ethereum instead of Solana. So if SUI ends up performing so well and becoming the Solana this cycle, then SUI's meme coin are going to perform very well. They don't have a lot of volume, but charts look good overall. So I think that is the thing. And I also want to make a case of Ethereum for something that is more like long-lasting buy and hold, because...
But there is big commission, transaction commission.
I was going to say that. That's the reason. There's such high commissions that people, unless they have millions and millions into something, they don't really want to buy and sell frequently. So you're going to be able to see that the buys on Ethereum are way higher and way less frequent, because people want to get big bags and just don't DCA, because Imagine spending $100 for making a $200 buy.
Yeah.
That's just outrageous. People are not going to do that. So unless you have like 100K, 200K into something, you're not going to do that. But because of it, people are not going to be so inclined to sell. So that's why I do find Ethereum is actually good for projects that are like proper hold. If you're going to find calls, chances are you're going to find them on Ethereum, not on Solana.
It's also a huge trend on AI tokens. What is your opinion about it?
I think that
it's probably started from October, from like huge trend.
Yeah, I do believe this is not really the first trend that we've seen in AI. I want to call this AI agent craze the third wave of AI that we've seen. We had a massive AI wave when we saw AOs, like those projects around 2023. Then at the beginning of 2024, there was another AI big run when NVIDIA registered all the stock earnings. That was like crazy. That was like the second big wave of AI. So we've seen Delysium, we've seen AI Tech, all these projects do like 40, 50x in a was supposedly a full bear market, although it was kind of like an altcoin run at that moment in time. So that was significant. And now we've seen something different. We've seen AI agents. And for people that don't know what AI agents are...
AI agents, it's a bit different like usual meme coins, right?
Yes, AI agents are actually utility projects. The way that people associate them with meme coins is that, again, it's not like black or white. There's AI... There's AI agents, there's meme coins, and there's meme coins with AI agents. So meme coin with AI agents, I would put something like Fartcoin or AI 19, like those things. And then into the AI agents, I would just put the real AI agents project. So there's plenty of this. I like... there's Colin, there's Tank is another one that I like. There is around the field of like automation of tasks on your laptop. There's another one that is called Quain. There is blending RWA and financial market into AI and crypto. So very, very different things. But again, the line is so blurred between all of this. And also some of these AI agents that have nothing to do with meme coins, they're launched on Pump Fund. So people associate them with the world of Pump Fund, but those are actually utility projects that have nothing to do on Pump Fund or with meme coins, sorry. But they are launched on Pump Fund. So people are going to say, oh, this is not a serious project or it's a meme coin. No, it's not. It's just the way that they launched it, that it made it very easy. And as long as they bundle it and they get allocation for the team and, you know, to fund marketing and stuff, like I don't see a problem with the launch into Pump Fund. But yeah, I want to say that AI agents are probably going to be a big thing because for the most part, they are the application, the actual effective application and deployment of the large language models that we can see from OpenAI, from ChatGPT. Imagine having a chatbot that uses ChatGPT. That is just by definition an AI agent. Okay, it can be a virtual assistant. It can be a trading assistant or an AI agent that uses ChatGPT to do TA on the screen that you have in front of you. That's an AI agent. And these are some of the tech that these projects are developing. And last, I also want to add that a lot of projects that are in the AI sphere and that nothing to do with AI agents, nothing to do with the field, most of them, and I know because I also work with 2 or 3 in the space, they've expanded their offering, trying to cater towards the AI agent crowd, either by launching a marketplace or launching some sort of virtual assistant, but launching an actual AI agents to compete with what the meta is right now.
Did you find AI agents tokens with really good utility?
I did find some. As I said, this Tank that is called Agent Tank. I would encourage people to check it out. Hopefully it's still there by the time that you're watching this podcast. In this one, basically you give remote access to your laptop and they're able to analyze anything that is in front of you. Or you can ask them to buy you protein powder on Amazon. You can ask them to do TA for you. You can ask them to set a limit order on your non-custodial wallet. You can ask them to actually do a lot of things. So I do think that this is a practical use, yeah.
What's your Bluechips, what you hold in your portfolio?
In what field?
In general.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you that like
we can go to this way, like start from meme coins and other go to other fields.
Okay, I want to say Brett. I like Brett and
on base on Solana.
On base. It's gonna kind of be like a bit controversial for people, but at the end of the day, they do have a good community. They have a big cabal behind them, whether you like it or not. That is why they control the supply. That is why they've actually outperformed better than the majority of cult memes out there, because they know when to push the price. They know when to actually not push the price. The only thing that could slow down the process, the progress of Brett, is actually going to be the price of Ethereum itself. Ethereum is not being a super high performer as of lately, but if he really catches up with Solana's strong signs in the market that Ethereum could do well by the end of February or March, if this happens, then Brett is going to be a massive, massive breakout, because they have the community, they have everything, they have the memeability, they have the exchange listing potential, they are the sort of unofficial face of Coinbase Exchange. And if you put all these things together, and Base being one of the fastest growing blockchains out there and probably the best layer 2 for Ethereum, I don't see also any reason why they wouldn't be listed on Coinbase or a tier 1 exchange, which is probably the biggest thing holding them down. The chart overall looks really good. I do believe that Brett has a just very big opportunity, and that's probably my only real blue chip meme coin in my portfolio. I don't really have anything else that they have a strong long-term conviction. I also have a small bag of Ponke, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually like 60-70% down on that, and I didn't buy the top at all. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to recover. It's just another meme coin on Solana. I do like the community. They are on Binance Futures. Could have potential. But I think the Brett at this stage is just like my big meme coin Bluechip. Now let's move on to other stuff. On the field of AI, I think my biggest Bluechip is SUI AI Tech, which was a project that I found at 1 cent. It's been around for like 1 year and a half. I found it at 1 cent, it went to 50 cents, and now it's up to 6-7 cents. So it came down quite drastically. They own the biggest data center in Europe, built in Bucharest, in Romania. So that is actually a real project with real capital, with a fully doxed team, some of the biggest players in the sphere. They have partnerships with NVIDIA and Google and Microsoft.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and they also recently started an AI. They already had an AI store, but they put an AI marketplace in it. So the fact that they are also expanding towards that route, I think that gives them a lot of competitive advantage. So that's probably my biggest AI blue chip. I also hold under AI projects, but they're more like trades or swing trades that I'm going to keep for like a few weeks. So I'm not going to bore people with that. And when it comes to other stuff, I think that's just, these things can all be temporary, but the real blue chips that are not in AI or meme coins for me are really Solana and SUI in this cycle. Solana is my biggest. No, I don't want to say the Solana is my biggest back. I think the SUI is my biggest back right now, because I sold a lot of Solana at the local top that we had right after the summer.
I think because SUI is like an early stage.
Yeah, and I bought. That was like probably the riskiest trade of my life, like multiple 6 figures of Solana that I sold in one clip. Okay, I sold it all, and I bought SUI at $1.30. $1.30 went to $5.20 in just a matter of 3-4 months. So that was already like what 3x, 3-4x. Like it was crazy, right? It was crazy. So for something that I do believe that it can go to like. It can go to 2 digits, so it can go to $10. It can go to $15, maybe.
We'll believe.
We believe. I mean, what would that be? A 3 or 4x from now? It's not a lot at the end of the day for something that has really big institutional backing. BlackRock is investing into SUI. They're taking it into account for RWA, for the real tokenization of real world assets. The son of Trump said that he endorses SUI. SUI was also the sponsor of Trump's inauguration. There's a lot of stuff that is going on behind the scenes. And the developers are Facebook people. I don't know if you knew, but Facebook launched a blockchain project called Libra, I think a few years ago. It's these people that are behind it.
Same people that's working on SUI.
Exactly. It's the same exact people. So it's really, really smart people. It's made in the USA. A lot of people think that USA projects are really going to stick out in a small market. So that's probably be it. But obviously, I also want to be like as safe as possible, especially with the capital that I'm working with. So Ethereum and Solana are definitely just right behind that. Ethereum is not performing that great, but I still have conviction for the long term.
Regarding AI, I noticed a lot of projects launch on Base. Why Base so popular in terms of AI tokens?
Just for the virtuals ecosystem. So I'm not sure if you know about virtuals, but
yeah, I know this.
Virtual was a launchpad, still is a launchpad. So imagine it as the pump fund of AI agents. So you basically launch a token there, And you're going to have to need the virtuals token, which is a token on virtuals that you can just buy on a centralized exchange or on Uniswap or whatever. And you're going to need virtuals. See it as a video game, okay? And you customize, see it as an RPG, and you customize your character. So imagine a Fallout, or for people that game, and you want to get some perks, you want to get some abilities for the AI agent. So one could be automated posting on X, live streaming capabilities, Discord bot, Telegram channel,
it's cool.
Whatever.
That's why all developers decided to go to Base.
Exactly. So by doing this, I literally can launch one right now and can do live streaming 24/7 like no human could. Yeah. So it's just as simple as that. And they get tokenized. So they launch, they can go on CoinMarketCap. They have their own token. They can do anything, and a lot of them are going to be Ponzi schemes, or all of that are going to be terrible. But if you see the big ones, the market cap that they achieved, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with AI XPT. Like that one went to like 500, 600 million.
Yeah. What do you think about Ton ecosystem? Because maybe half year ago it was on a hype, but now it's so quiet.
I think it was a bubble.
Do you believe
First of all,
in Ton?
Nah.
Especially with Telegram behind?
I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe I'm a bit controversial, I don't know. But I just have not seen good stuff. You cannot tell me that the tap to earn game is something that is going to revolutionize the space. I think it's just like a waste of time. And we also seen like the price action of things like Amster Combat. Like I just don't think it ends well. And also it's too linked to Pavel Durov. Like even though it's technically not affiliated with the project now. I mean, look at the arrest. Like the chart went like this, and the memes have no volume. There's no tools for the ecosystem really. I've seen some trading bots. They're awful.
Yeah, they have to work a lot.
Yeah,
to scale ecosystem.
Exactly. Like Memecoins.
I decided to ask because Telegram, a lot of crypto community using Telegram.
Obviously, yeah. Me too. I mean, I do 99% of my business on Telegram. But
it's true.
That's how brands even reach out to me for partnership and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, there's no real good projects that are being on Ton. Maybe I'm controversial. There's a few good memes that have good cults community. Like could be the Resistance Dog that was created by Pavel Durov, like that artwork. It was so related to it that it kind of becomes a little bit of a turnoff for me because it's so linked to the news of that. And that's why I don't like Doge personally, because everything just... Elon Musk tweets something about it, the market moves.
I already wanted to ask about Doge and Elon Musk.
It's so... You're just... I mean, as long as you're cool with the fact that you're depending just on Elon Musk and how he wakes up, what side of the bed he wakes up in the morning, as long as you're okay with that, great. And yes, there is the theory of like the DOGE, Department of Governal Efficiency. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. That is the thing. There's a real website and there's the Doge icon on that. So
yeah, I think it's crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, what a time to be alive, right? But I do think that is going to be good for the long term. And maybe that's potentially going to make me reevaluate my position on Doge for the long term. But it's been a crazy trade for people in recent times. It still did very, very good from the lows. I think it did like more than 5x or something from the lows. But I just don't see the point into investing into tokens that are so interrelated with what a person is going to do. I think that crypto was born to be decentralized, and then the VCs came around, and VC coins are also a thing. Like that's why I like SUI, because it makes me money, because I know that VCs are going to pump that project. But then you have VCs, you have decentralization, and then you have one-man band. And one-man band to me is just not my thing.
Where do you see potential trends will be dominating this year?
This year, that is a good question. So I think that AI agent bubble is taking a bit of a downturn right now. A lot of AIs are dumping more than needed, but they had such a hot end of the year of 2024 that probably they needed a bit of a retracer before the next leg up. I think that AI doesn't go anywhere. I think it's going to be the hottest narrative in the year overall. But I think that for the next month or two, we're probably going to be seeing a bigger surge of Memecoins. You know why? Because people are just devastated by a 1 year of altcoins suffering despite Bitcoin going to an all-time high. And if you think about it, the cryptocurrency that really... the type of crypto that is really the least barrier to enter for people, for retail, because we need retail, we need new investors in the market. That is Memecoins, because they're going to think, think about how much Bitcoin I can get for, I put $1,000 into the market right now. I've never invested in crypto. I'm going to buy 0.00, I don't know, of a Bitcoin. Or I'm going to buy 5,000 Pepe. What do you think people are gonna think? It's just psychological, and it's also like, this is funny. The exchange puts it into the first page.
It's simpler.
Exactly. It's just simpler to understand. What do you think that the new retail investor is gonna come into the market and understand ZK knowledge layer 3 proof of whatever? Like people are not gonna take time to research that, but they're gonna see a dog or a frog that maybe they saw on TV or their taxi driver talk about.
Yeah, it was interesting when Trump, for a few days before inauguration, launched our Memecoin, and after that, all of his family started to release our memes also.
I gotta say that was probably one of the worst things that happened to cryptos this year.
Yeah, I thought it's like a scam, but it's true. Who can imagine that it can be possible?
Yeah. So first of all, shame on the Dubai time zone because we lost all of that. All of those launches happened so late at night for us that I missed everything. I could have still have bought. I could have still bought Trump in the morning and make a 3 to 4x.
I've seen price on 12, but I thought it's scam. I decided to wait, and price was like 30.
I know. I knew it was not a scam because people told me from the US, like, this is real. Like, it's actually real. But still, people were guessing because he hadn't spoken about it yet, right? It was just a tweet. But even after that, you see it at $12. I don't know how many billions of market cap it was. Maybe like 3, 6, something like that. People will think 3 to 6 billion for something that just launched. I mean, not even, Doge or Shiba. Like, that's like next level shit. Like, I'm not gonna buy now. I'm just buying the top, and then it goes to $60. Like, you don't know what to believe anymore, right? So exactly. I faded because of it. Because of that, I said $12 maybe goes to 15, 20 at most, but it went 3x from there, and I could have literally full portfolio and make generational wealth. But some of my friends did back in the US, and congrats to them. I just didn't feel like it because I didn't believe in that. Then you see Melania, and then after 2 days, the chart is just like this now. It's terrible. It's
scam.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And at least the Trump one had a Twitter page. The one of Melania didn't even have that. They just had the link to her tweet. No one's word spoken about that. And then there was all the unofficial rounds. So there was the Baron Memecoin, and there was one that went to 200, 300 million. It was not even his. So people started creating like these copycats, pretending that they were original of every single member. Like you can check the Trump family picture with like 20 kids and adults. Everybody loves Memecoin on that.
I've seen an official website of Trump Memecoin, and I see information like our team have like 80% supply.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And at least they're honest about it, and it's locked, so they can't sell it.
But in a way, it's also like, it can be like a red flag. For example, you trade a lot, and what's the criteria? What's the red flags do you see in Memecoins or in other projects? What stopped you to trade?
I mean, Memecoins have different red flags from like a normal utility project. I mean, if there's VCs invested
okay, let's separate and
if I'm talking about Memecoins, I mean, dude, like the obvious ones. If I don't know who's behind the project, which I might or might not know in some cases, but if I don't know who that is and I see 90% plus bundle, I mean, they could have the best intention on earth, but I'm not going to take my chances if they can literally one clip, all right? Then if I see a chart that just looks on a diagonal level like this, and there's basically all buyers, but no sellers, and I see a bundle as well, usually the chart goes like this. And you're going to see this pattern very, very frequently in Memecoin. So if I see that it looks like a farm, that's what we call it, a farm, that is just like buys and no sells, or I see in the 1 second chart that the first initial green candle is like this. So it's not like organic, but you see just a candle like this. You see a candle like this, and then a diagonal line, there is always a farm. So that's the biggest scam to spot. And by the way, even when I call these projects scams, you're still going to be able to make money if you buy low and you sell before they rug it. So even with scams, people can still make money.
But
now,
it's high risk.
Obviously, of course. Do I want to take my chances with something that is a farm and 90% plus bundle? I personally do not want to take the chances. I'm not in a position on my crypto journey that I need to waste my time like that. But I do see why some people that have like a very big risk tolerance are just going to go there. But I'm personally not going to do that. In other stuff, so let's say the insider percentage is less than 25 or 20%, then I do believe that it's quite decentralized. And I'm gonna have there's gonna be a much higher likelihood that I'm gonna invest into that. So that's the thing. Obviously, volume is very important. If I see the price action going down, but I see the volume going down, I'm not gonna touch it because probably the project is dying. But if I see, a big red candle, but the volume increasing like crazy, meaning that there's very high buy pressure, then it's a very good opportunity to buy. Okay. That's very important. That's probably one of the biggest flags. I also use some tools, obviously Bullx tools. Those are going to tell you about the insider percent. The snipers, Bullx also tells you how many people snipe the contract. If I see more than 20% snipers, I'm also not going to touch it, because the snipers, obviously, they are the people that have the best entry. So those are the people that are going to wreck the chart first. Okay. Other stuff that I can look at, age of the project, even do a quick trade in and out, and it launched days and days ago. Probably not the best idea. Majority of good trades are going to be for projects that are less than 48 hours old. Yeah, I think it's mostly a relation of volume and just buying low and selling high, because I can give you a 100x trade right now, but if you buy when I'm 50x and then you buy the top and it goes down 50%, that was a crazy call, but you did a terrible trade, even on a very good call.
Do you find yourself addictional to meme coins?
I do think that maybe when this pump fund craze first came out and I started really playing around with trading bots, I think that I got a little bit addicted. I think it's very easy, but right now, no, definitely not. I definitely had my phase. I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's your plan for upcoming crypto bull run?
It's good that you say upcoming, because it started, then it went on hold. Nobody knows. My plan is have a safety net in place, have something that you don't even have to worry about just checking on a daily. That, SUI, Solana, Ethereum, could be other big layer one blockchains that I'm not going to talk about now. That these are the ones that could be Caspa. There's a lot that I believe about, but these ones, as long as you get a good entry, there's still very good red moments in which people are able to accumulate. As long as you get a good entry, buy them, put them on cold storage, forget about it. When everybody starts talking about crypto, when you feel the euphoria, you sell the top. Or a moment of euphoria, you don't need to sell the top to make money. Also, there's this conception, I'm going to hold it on. Nobody can. Yeah. Nobody can. Because it doesn't depend on us. It doesn't depend on my perception. It depends on what the big whales, what the exchange, whatever these people, actors, want to do, right? So buy these projects, put them on cold storage, go on with your life, go on with your business, your career, whatever, and forget about it. And then have a small allocation of your portfolio. It could be, for some people, it's going to be 10%, for some people, 20%. Some people are nuts and they're going to have 50% in degen trades. That's fine. I'm not going to judge you. It's personally not me. I can tell that mine is probably 2 to 5% right now. With this, learn the ins and out, lock in, as people like to say on crypto Twitter. Lock in and find the ins and outs. Fail, get the knowledge, and then you're going to compound your money. And after that, your profits, do not spend them into the next rug and waste them all. Just accumulate your Solana, accumulate your Ethereum, and then add them to your cold storage so you compound them over time. Instead of just okay, I made 100 Solana starting from 2 Solana, I'm a god, and then I put 100 Solana into something that insta rugs. No, send them to cold storage, accumulate your wealth over time, and then preserve it.
What's your personal insights for 6-7 years?
I want to say that every bull run is different. This is my third. The first bull run, it was kind of at the end, so I don't even want to count it all. But let's call it, this is my second and a half cycle. No bull cycle is the same. So 2021, holders market. It was buy the cold, buy the blue chip, forget about it. Right now, it's been really traders focused. In and out, rotate. Now is the AI meta. Good. AI meta disappeared. Now is the Memecoin meta. Great. Now is the gaming meta. I don't know if that's going to come. Anything. It's been make money here, rotate to the next thing. You make money here, you rotate to the next thing. The last bull runs weren't like that. I want to say first bull run was tech oriented. The next one was, okay, we have the tech. What's the utility? What's the utility project that can be built on the tech? And now it's just traders trade and rotate. And holders perish. This is perhaps going to change. I can't forecast the future, but I do expect a change because I just don't think that crypto deserves to be in this spot. I think that there's a very selected people that make money. That could be me, could be other KOLs that even make more money and trade better than me, because obviously I'm not the best trader in the world, like nobody is. There's always going to be someone that is going to perform better than you, but there's a very selective few people that make money, and then there's 99% of people that lose money because of it. But perhaps then 99% would be 95%, and it would be 5% of people making money if people actually focus on quality projects with real utility for the long term. So I do hope that we're going to see a change in crypto that is going to align this bull cycle at least a little bit more to the one that we see in the previous bull market 2021.
Okay, cool. Thanks for conversation. You
Thanks
shared
so
a
much
lot
for
of
having me.
information.